Hello, 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 and welcome to the Penguins Collective podcast. My name is Louie.
My name is Josh.
Oh, and we're two brothers who love to talk about hockey.
Especially the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Pittsburgh Penguins defeated the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-3. Does it feel like a win? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. There's a dark cloud coming in. Trade rumors. There's a lot of crap coming the Penguins' way. Is Gensel gone? Is Smith gone? Is Eller gone? Is everyone gone? And Sidney Crosby leaving Pittsburgh? Let's talk about it. But before we do, thank you guys so much for joining us on X, YouTube, and Twitch. Or if you're listening on a later date, thank you guys so much for listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your favorite podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Hello, Josiah. Hello, Josh. Tell me, why are you laughing?
Now that I know the reason why you do that, shout out. It just makes it funnier that you do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. For those of you who don't know, Josiah is my pastor, and he'll just watch the streams and does not bring it up until the most awkward times at church, or if we're just chatting, he'll bring something up from the podcast. And he always says he watches it, but he never comments or anything like that. But last episode, he did comment. So
yes.
Every time I say, hello, Josiah, it's because I'm acknowledging him, even though I know he's not going to comment. But Josh, Let's move on. Let's get into this win here. So the Penguins beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-3. Your initial thoughts of the game?
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it. With the intro, there were some nice things that happened in this game, and there were some not so nice things that happened in this game. Typical Penguins game, okay? Typical Penguins game that we've had all throughout the year. However, it feels worse because of where we're at with everything, what we're approaching in the next few days. All the rumors that were coming out, we're going to get to some of it. Everything with the game tonight. I don't know. I don't know how to read tonight's game. It was nice to see Malkin actually show that he cared a little bit tonight.
Yeah. Okay. I have a comment on that. Keep on going, Josh. Keep on going.
And then there was a wild shakeup with the lineups that I don't know, how to really dive into that. O'Connor as a center was kind of my biggest I get Eller on the top line. He's been playing really well. I get that, but O'Connor as a center is a little bit questionable for me. And then to automatically start that Kopanen guy after immediately calling him up, just don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, just really interesting, and just really frustrating too, that the fact that we can't really enjoy this win because of just
all the
crap. You said,
all the crap coming our way.
And the one negative thing, I think I put it in the Discord. Honestly, the freaking duality of Gino is so annoying. So annoying. You have the sweet goal just coming down the side, firing a missile for a goal. And then literally the next possession, next shift that he's on the ice, own goal, deflects it right into our goal.
Or how about all the turnovers on the blue line again? You said, the duality of Malkin. Let me talk about this. All the people on Twitter, okay, I'm talking to you. Look at me right in the eye. Okay? Yes, Gino is a good hockey player, but there's expectations, okay? There's the eye test and the statistics on paper, okay? Yes, he has the stats, but man, How many times is he going to turn the puck over on the blue line that leads to an on-man rush? How many times is he going to fumble a puck in the corner that leads to a breakout? Like, you guys got to understand, yes, he's a fantastic player, but if the fundamentals aren't there, it costs the team. And I'm so sick and tired of you guys coming out when Gino scores against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and and everyone's like, you see? I told you Malkin was good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? First of all, we're playing the Columbus Blue Jackets. Second of all, we're not good ourselves. And the play was so slow tonight. I would have scored out there. All right.
That's a good observation. It really was. Everyone.
Now, everyone was so slow tonight. But like, if we were playing against Winnipeg, which is the last game that we played that was phenomenal when we won, I think 5-3, similar to the same score.
Yeah, I think it was.
So if he scored then and he owned, I would have been like, yeah, great job, Malkin. Good job. Mm-hmm. Yes, everyone praise him on Twitter. But tonight is the night not to praise him because he did the bare minimum. Yes, he did a slap shot. Yes, he had a nice pass from the corner to Riley Smith, which we'll cover in a moment. But my point is, yes, he has like sparks and he's good and that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. But you also need to understand that there are more to the game than just scoring. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are on Twitter that just defend scoring, and I know you always come after me and say, you're hating on Malkin. Listen, Sid was slow tonight. Sid was giving up on a lot of plays where he usually back checks. He's trying to skate up, best 200-foot player in the league ever. And tonight he kind of gave up on a lot of shifts and just kind of skated to the bench. Don't know what that's about with the trade deadline coming up. That's getting me a little nervous. Maybe he's sad to see his friend go. I don't know. I was texting Josh during the game. Is Sid gone? Because he's playing like he gave up. Or maybe he just gave up on the season, where he's just sad because we're playing horrible against the Columbus Blue Jackets and he's sick and tired of it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. All I know is I will call out a hockey player if they're not playing to the expectation that we have put on him and that they have put on themselves. All right? Gino puts high expectations on himself, right? We put high expectations on Gino. That's why I'm so hard on him. Tonight, yeah, he played great. But let's look at the other circumstances where he played great. Tonight, Sid didn't meet those expectations. So I'm calling him out. All right? And that's fine. That's part of what this is, But
yeah,
I went on a rant there.
No, it's okay. Mean to. And the thing with everything we'll just call it the big dark cloud of the trade deadline looming.
Off the dome, I came up with that.
Nice. Puljujarvi gets his first goal. So he gets his first goal as a Penguin. Riley Smith gets his 500th point of his career. And those are things that we kind of just, overlook because of everything that's going on and the background of everything. Just It just shades and clouds everything. Just everything. And it sucks. I don't like it. But that's where we're at. That's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah. Dark cloud coming in. But Josh, we have some bright things coming on the horizon. All right? We have some possible youth coming in. We have some cool stuff happening for Pittsburgh. Maybe there's some cool things happening on this podcast, Josh. Maybe there's some awesome moves that we're doing behind scenes. Maybe we're making connections with certain kind of people to make sure that we make our podcast to the highest point of excellence, Josh. Maybe we're doing that. Maybe there's some light shining on the horizon. And it starts here on this podcast. All right? Man, I am hyping this guy up, and I love it. All right, guys, we have a special announcement. All right? We are trying to constantly upgrade this podcast as much as we can. We want to get into the nitty-gritty, right? We've always said that we're just two stooges. We're just two stooges. We're just two fans of the game. We're not analysts. We're not.
Yes.
I know. I don't know why that word.
It's okay. Just keep going. You're on a roll.
Yeah. I'm on a roll. We're not analysts. We're not ex-hockey players. We don't have the backing of Barstool Sports. That's right. Shot at. We don't have any of that. We're just two brothers. We're just two brothers trying to make it. All right? And we are making connections to better understand the game. Better understand the game. And right now, we can use a better understanding of the game because I guarantee you if a professional looks at Malkin, they go, yeah, he's not playing the greatest. They could look at Sid today and go, yeah, he wasn't playing the greatest. Some would say maybe they were cheating on some of those goals. Some would say that they were kind of cherry picking there, getting that shot on net or to get that goal for Malkin. Being a little lazy. That's what a professional would say. Us, we're just saying, wow, what a great slap shot. But we're trying to grow here, okay? We're trying to grow here. We're making some moves. Look at this new podcast chair. I don't know how to get out of the way of my own chair.
Yeah, just
look at this. Look at the arm. Look at the mic arm. We're looking good.
We're
looking good here.
You're looking
well,
good.
Josh looks like, he's recording on his iPod Nano from 2009, but that's fine. That's
Easy.
fine, Josh. I got lights. I got stuff in the background, Josh. We're stepping it up. And how we're stepping it up is we're bringing in professionals. Professionals to talk about the game. And it's someone that you already know. Some may call family. All right? You like that, Josh?
That was so good.
Thanks. Guys, every game in the beginning of the week for the rest of this season, we are going to have a professional come on the podcast and break down a play to tell you and explain to you what's good about it, what's bad about it, what he would coach, and overall, just a nice, hey, Penguins are looking good in a time of crappiness, all right?
Yeah.
Or he'll say, hey, we won 5-3 tonight, but that was crap, dude. That was crap. Maybe he'll say that. Who knows? He's a loose cannon. We don't know. But I want to introduce to the podcast, reintroduce, for his new segment on the Penguins Collective podcast, Coach Donnie's Breakdown.
Wow, that's an introduction. That's definitely. Where's the smoke? Where's the smoke?
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. We could get some stuff going right here. Hold on. We can get some
there
confetti
we go.
for you.
Yeah.
Confetti, nice.
We can
I
get
like
some
it.
confetti for you. Uncle Donnie, how's it going? How are you?
Good. I feel like Sellian though. Like after that intro, I got to be honest with you guys. So thanks for having me.
Like I said, I may not be good at hockey talk, but man, I can hype someone up, and I'm proud that I can hype you up today.
Yeah, I might have had to bring you in on some of those locker room pregame speeches or in between periods, Louie. Like that's motivational
Hey,
for sure.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Maybe it'll be better than what I lost his name. Kurt, what's his name? And Miracle. Forgot his name. Doesn't matter. Move on.
Kurt Russell.
Thank
Kurt
God.
Russell.
Gosh darn it. It's Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
The night is the night. Greatest hockey team in the world. That's what I would do every game. Anyway, Coach Donnie, welcome to the podcast. Are you excited about this new little partnership here, about kind of breaking down some plays from the Pittsburgh Penguins from a coach's perspective, so that way two stooges like me and Josh can better understand the game.
Absolutely. Just anybody, a bit of insight to just kind of give the fans and your listeners a little more technical approach and how I view and see things, and been doing this a long time, for about 30 years in the game. So, glad to help out.
Perfect. It's awesome.
That's great. My mic was off. Not off to a good start, but that's okay. We moved past it. All right. Hey, so we were talking during the game, and there was a play that you kind of wanted to break down, and we'll kind of set everything up. Oh, I jumped the gun on that one.
It's all right. It's okay.
Let's go back. Hey, this is a learning process. All right, this is a learning process for everyone. Okay, hold on. We're getting this. We're working this down. Hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Guys, Josh, this is where you hop in and you talk during the argument.
My bad. So Donnie, this is the play that Louie is trying to bring up for us. You're going to bring it a little bit of expertise here in terms of it's Riley Smith's goal, correct? In the second period.
Third period.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. We are 0 for 5 right now. All right. That's fine. Good. Hey, Donnie's coming in to make it look better. All right.
Yeah.
So here we go. We are just happened to scroll on Twitter. Oh, and look what we found. Whoa. I just stumbled upon the exact video that we are covering. That's so weird. NHL. This is a coincidence. This is no way.
Sue us.
Don't sue us. We just stumbled upon this, and Coach Donnie's going to break it down. This is just a coincidence. Please don't sue us. All right, so Donnie, go ahead. This is all the way. Can I go all the way? Yeah.
You can
go up a little bit there. There you go. Yep.
Gary, there we go. All right, so I'll start the play. You tell me when to stop it. All right, so
stop it right there.
Here we go.
So Ruben will dump the puck in, right, to get it deep. Coach Sullivan always talks about north-south game. Get pucks behind the other team's D and play below their goal line. So we do that, and like you guys alluded to tonight, it was kind of a slow game, but now there's forechecking pressure, right, on Werenski there. Mm-hmm. So why don't you go ahead and roll it. Werenski then, puts the puck up the boards. Riley Smith goes over there and kind of pressures there and creates a little uncertainty. So Cole Sillinger then bumps the puck back and stop it right there. If he bumps the puck a 4-foot pass back to Werenski, which to me, that's not a great play unless it's a bump play and then going D to D across the other side and out. Because as you can see, the other side of the ice is wide open, right? So Riley Smith and Malkin are on that side. On top, Riley Smith's on top of Malkin there. Then go ahead and roll it. Makes the play. Gino pressures, creates the turnover, and just right there, stop it. Look at Riley Smith, how much time and space he has in the middle. Like, stop it right there, in the middle of the ice. What Boquist is doing, the weak side defenseman standing over on the wall, watching the play develop and the turnover happen. By the time he gets on his horse and starts, trying to close in on Riley Smith, the puck's in the back of the net. Go ahead and roll it. There's the pass, and Riley Smith just buries it. And then their weak side D is nowhere to be found. So I'm sure he probably heard about it when he got back to the bench, because you can't play that spread apart in the D zone. So that's just a lazy play by the weak side D, and a real good play by Gino and Riley, just kind of, pressuring that side of the ice, creating the turnover. Riley goes to the net after he initially pressures the puck. He goes down low on the bumper pass from Sillinger to Werenski. Gino basically creates that turnover. Riley Smith continues on to the front of the net, and Gino finds him with just a no-look behind the backhand pass right to Riley for a one-timer from about 8 feet out, and he just buries it.
Now, obviously, Josh, go ahead.
So just one thing I wanted to ask, Donnie, is that when Riley Smith starts that initiating forecheck, like that's enough right there where he just puts the stick out.
It shouldn't be, but for why Sillinger felt that pressure, to then turn back. Like, we always coach our players to retrieve pucks quickly in the D zone, exit quickly in the D zone, because that way you're playing in the neutral zone, the offensive zone, right? Because this is a perfect example of bad things happen when you turn back in your zone and want to spend more time in it. It drives coaches crazy because, a harmless play right there, Sillinger just had to chip it out. If he didn't feel he could, he's right close to that winger on the wall right there. And then he curls back and skates towards Werenski. That's like the worst thing you can do is skate towards your guy and give him a pass, right? So look at where the Blue Jackets are right now. They're stacked 3 within about 5 feet of each other, all 3 players. You can't even see in the picture the weak side defenseman, and I don't even know where the other forward's at. And look at Smith. It's almost like Smith and Gino are just kind of bluffing because they're not really finishing a check, Josh, like you mentioned. Riley Smith, is that enough? It shouldn't have been. But in this instance, it was, because then Sillinger just curled back. Gino was closing in, kind of basically one guy. Gino's covering 2 guys now, right? Because Sillinger's skating towards Werenski. So Gino's basically pressuring 2 guys as one. And Riley Smith just continues on. I mean, look at the amount of ice. I mean, the game of hockey, you try to create 2-on-1s close to the net as possible and create time and space for yourself. Look at the space in the middle of the ice of the Blue Jackets.
It's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
My question is, all right, so you see, I don't know if you could see my mouse. Can you see the cursor here?
You have to blow it up a little bit. Where you at?
Do you see the cursor here or no?
I do not.
That's fine.
Yeah,
so
it's
all right,
really small on mine too.
Can you blow that up a little bit?
What the
whole frame, the video, or no?
I wonder if I could do. No. Hold on. Maybe if I do that.
Yeah,
hey, all right, that works.
Yeah.
All right, so the guy right in front of the nope, that was a bad. On top of the hash marks, okay?
Yep.
So we have the guy currently on the footage in between Riley Smith and Gino. There's the guy who's just sitting there that whole sequence.
Yep.
Okay. Now, is he in position and everyone else is doing something wrong, or is he should be speeding up to the center ice? The
guy
role?
on the top of the circle there for the Blue Jackets should be calling for the puck from Sillinger, right? Because he sees where Malkin is. He sees he's got time and space because Smith has kind of curled away and is coming down the middle lane drive. So that guy really should have been calling for that puck from Sillinger up the wall, and he should have stretched a little bit, started moving his feet out of the zone. But as soon as he got the puck, he could have broke with the weak side defenseman. He could have just one-timed it there. But no, Riley Smith, look where he goes. Stop it there. If they would have got the puck out, like Werenski could have hard rimmed it over to Boquist on the weak side. He could have harded it up to the top forward there. And instead, he just kind of played around with it a little bit, just enough for Gino to create the turnover. And, Gino just threw it. Either Riley Smith called for it or he just knew, Gino knew it had, on-ice awareness where Riley Smith was. But for this setup, to have 3 guys pinned against the wall for the Blue Jackets, the other guy basically might as well just went in the front row there and ordered a popcorn and a hot dog because he took himself completely out of the plate and stood and watched. And Riley Smith just has a lane it's like the Turnpike, the Ohio-Pennsylvania Turnpike all the way to Cleveland. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, my question is here, and I'll try to play it, and going back to my point, that guy does not move this whole sequence.
Nope. Oh, it's almost like they played bubble hockey that shift, the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, like the guy who's under the moving ad right now on the top, and I'm sorry if you're listening to the audio. But look at that
go back and watch Gino when he comes towards the puck. Watch his edges. He's coming there now. Slow it down. Slow it. Keep going. He's
going towards the guy at the top of the circle.
But then he turns right here. Watch him. See him turn. Stop it right there.
Yeah.
He turns to bluff that he's coming to Sillinger, right?
Yeah.
And then so Sillinger now thinks he's going to get attacked. I don't know why he just didn't bump it up the wall to that other forward instead of going down low to Werenski. But by Gino turning his edges that way, that Sillinger thought he was going to come right at him, which he kind of does. And if you roll the clip, Gino kind of bluffs and just continues on to Werenski. That's how he's able to create the turnover because he's hard on him. See right there. Gino has a long stick, right? Reaching. Like as coaches, we don't like guys reaching. We like them moving their feet. And Gino, did a little bit of both there, but he had so much speed garnered up. He was really, working his edges good, but by bluffing, like he's attacking Sillinger and then getting back on his other edges to go attack Werenski, creates the turnover and then just blindly look. I mean, that's unbelievable, the amount of time and space. Like, here's the forward. The Blue Jackets forward now is coming back into the zone. That guy was out of the picture the entire time, and he's coming back. But the weak side defenseman really should have sensed urgency. I don't know. Like, stop it right there. The weak side defenseman's over with the referee right now, and he stood there basically the entire time. Just go ahead and roll the clip. Watch him. He stands over there. I mean, the puck comes the other way. He should have. Right now, that defenseman should have skated right to the front of the net.
I was just about to ask. So in this moment, the guy that I referred to doesn't move the entire time. I'm not even sure who that player is on the Blue Jackets, but he's on the wall. All right. Yeah. Now he should have been up the ice to receive a pass. Correct?
Exactly. He should have been stretching up the ice. Right.
But then also
Pittsburgh has a high forward there. I don't know if that's Raquel.
That's yeah. That's
so he's there in position, right? But then he disappears out of the screen because he senses that Riley Smith is not going to cut that guy off. So Raquel doesn't want to get caught in the offensive zone. So you'd have 3 Penguins caught, right? And one pass beats guys all the time. So Raquel backs off. He thinks Riley Smith is not going to cut that guy or steal that guy. So then he kind of backs off. But then Riley Smith spins away. Malkin fills his spot. And Malkin, by doing the little fake, attack the guy back on his other edges. And then boom. But that weak side defenseman for Columbus, I mean, he just stood there and watched. Like, he should have came toward
into the front.
Right now, he should be busting to the front. And he doesn't even react till after the puck's in the net.
Well, yeah, until the pass is out.
Yeah, the pass is made. And that's a terrible play by that guy. Lazy or he assumed that his partner, he assumed that his teammates were going to get the puck out. And anytime you assume anything in life or in sports, guys, it's not good. I mean, you got to be sure. You got to make sure. You know what I mean?
Now, one question here that I really want to ask. Obviously, we saw the clip. Well, we saw the clip. Was that more of, wow, Penguins really knew what to do there? Or was, man, Columbus fumbled that so bad that anyone could have scored there no matter the talent?
Yeah, Columbus made it real easy on the Pens. You know, but both teams kind of made it easy on each other at certain points of the game tonight. Like you said, it wasn't a very fast game. And I watched the Blue Jackets Vegas game last night, and that was a very quick game. Very quick. But, you know, Penguins coming off the road. Blue Jackets played last night, a big high-value game for them. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights 6-3. So, you know, Pittsburgh did what they had to do tonight. They scored first. You know, a team on a back-to-back, you always want to score first and put pressure on them. Kind of let them off the hook a little bit, right? And then found a way. You know, like you said earlier, it didn't feel like it was a win, but sometimes you just got to find a way, Louie. Like, it's not pretty all the time, but just find a way, baby. 2 points are 2 points. It's like when you score goals, they don't ask how, they just ask how many.
And that's absolutely right. And I know a lot of people kind of attack. I wouldn't say attack. That's a rough word. People come at us being like, oh, you guys talk about how Gino's not good or whatever. But I'm not saying he was terrible tonight. He was good. Clearly, he knew what he was doing in the corner. But what I'm saying is overall, yes, even though it was a highlight, you know, even though it was great and we got a win, yeah, there's still some negative things that are going on with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That whole Western road trip was a disaster. Besides one game, it was a complete disaster from, you know, just playing the game, playing the puck, everything. Goaltending was not great. Defensive has been a collapse this entire latter part of the season. And like we're all saying, this was great. A lot of cool stuff happened tonight, but it just doesn't feel great after a win. As a coach, how do you go from a horrible road trip to come back tonight to say, all right, hey, we have a team here that, hey, they're not the greatest. I know every game is a tough opponent. I get that. I'm not calling the Columbus Blue Jackets absolutely dog water here. I'm just saying it's an easier opponent than usual. How do you, as a coach, kind of encourage the guys to be like, all right, hey, turn the page. How do we attack tonight?
Yeah, you always gotta turn the page, especially after the last game. I think, like Sully said, you know, a game like that, you just didn't even compete from early on in that game, and odd man rushes and no backside pressure, and just you flush that game because I really thought watching the games they deserved a better fate. They could have easily went 3-1 on that road trip. They deserved a better fate. I think against Seattle, they gutted one out against Vancouver. That was very encouraging to start the trip. Calgary, they were in control. I always used to try and tell my players, like, when you get a team down and you're in the lead, you got to step on their throat and just finish them. You can't let them off the mat. You know what I mean? Momentum.
Yeah.
Momentum in sports and momentum in life is a very cherished thing. And when you got it on your side, you got to ride it. And you don't want to do anything to change the momentum by being lazy or not finishing a check or not back checking with backside pressure or giving up odd man rushes and recognize, hey, I'm a forward. I gotta fill the defenseman spot. They always talk about, coaches always talk about being connected as a line on the ice. Like, it's 5 guys on offense, it's 5 guys on defense. When they're not connected and there's a lot of space in between, there's no connectivity. Like, look at tonight, that Blue Jackets, the goal, that Boquist was not connected with the other guys. There was 4 guys of the Blue Jackets in their zone. It's almost like 4-putting on a green. You got 4 guys in your D zone and you give up a goal to a guy that's wide open by 30 feet. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, that it's hard to comprehend, the magnitude of the disaster that is currently happening with the Penguins. I mean, you nailed it with the Calgary game. I think was really the linchpin of everyone's mentality right now, because, they didn't, essentially seal the deal. And then they had a horrible performance against Edmonton. And then tonight, another slow performance, but, again, not trying to pile on Columbus, but due to the skill level of Columbus, you're able to, etch out a win here. But it just feels like the energy has been sucked out of the locker room.
Well, that happens too with the trade deadline, and lots of stuff going on. At the end of the day, guys, these guys are still human. Whether they get paid a lot of money to play a sport that they loved to play as a kid for free when they were young kids, they're still human beings, right? So emotion, anytime you have a human being and emotions are involved, that's the greatest thing I enjoyed about coaching is trying to get my players to play at the highest mental capacity in their brains and feel good about themselves and confident and things like that. And I always felt, if you take the same player, opponent, same physical, same speed, same hockey IQ, same everything, the guy that plays at that mental capacity at the highest level, that's going to have success. There's guys that, can just do that and turn on the switch. And tonight, I just think they gutted out a win that they needed to win. You know what I mean? And, they had some pushback from the Blue Jackets, which was good. And then they Karts gets that good goal, and they go on to win the game and put it away. But they fought through some adversity. Where on those road trips, they struggle to fight through adversity because you're going to have ups and downs and ebbs and flows of games. That's sports. You know what I mean? Like, that's, it's like Patrick Mahomes in football. He just toys with the other teams, and when it's money time for him to go down and score the winning touchdown, he just flips the switch and goes and does it.
Yeah. I mean,
no, wait, Louie, sorry. One, just follow up on what you're talking about with the mental aspect and leading up to this trade deadline. I mean, trade rumors were flowing this afternoon. And, we're not going to get into it with you, just due to your relationship with the team, but just if you don't mind talking about the mindset of, you as a coach, and how do you handle that? Because everything is spinning. I mean, rumors are talking about a trade going down as early as tomorrow. Like, how do you go out and compete when you have that, in your mind?
Yeah, well, some of the guys that are being traded or talked about traded aren't even in the lineup, I guess, and some are.
Yeah.
But, you're a professional, right? These are professional athletes, and at the end of the day, they're like, hey, they're pros, they got to do it. But, guys, you become close with your teammates. It's like a family. You have, girlfriends or wives or children and your friends. And, like on the road trip, I think in Cart's 1200th game, his family came out to Calgary and surprised him. Like, that's raw emotion, guys. Like, at the end of the day, these guys are still human beings, So you get affected by, people don't really like change. You know what I mean? They like status quo. As coaches, you make changes sometimes or status quo from a trust factor. But it's just, you got to deal with it. Unfortunately, it's a tough time, but every other team is going through the same thing, right? The Blue Jackets are going through it because they're for sure not mathematically out yet, but they're pretty much done. Like,
well, I mean, not to crap on the Columbus Blue Jackets, but they've been going through it for a couple seasons.
Yep.
You know, they've been doing it. This is new for us. Okay,
Yeah.
so for Penguins fans, we talked about it in our last episode. It's this is a new experience for us as fans. We
Right.
have been spoiled.
Yes, you
for
have.
years.
Yes, you have.
And-
Louis. You've been spoiled by the Steelers and the Penguins. I'm a struggling Browns fan, okay? So trust me. I know. I'm jealous of you guys, okay?
Yeah. Now our podcast is really going to go down ever since you mentioned you're a Browns fan. Now everyone's coming after us now.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, we've been spoiled here in Pittsburgh, and it's awesome. And now we're seeing the decline happen in front of our eyes. It's not like it just sneaks up on us. It's been a slow decline the last 2 seasons. And back to your point about they're human beings. They have emotions. They feel, depressed. I'm sure. Like we were talking about how Sid wasn't playing up to his high caliber today. And I think that the trade deadline has a part to play in that. You could tell he's just burned out right now. He's been carrying this team on his back the entire time. And now he's like, you know what? Trade's happening. Half the teams is going to be gone probably tomorrow. He knows. I'm sure it's known in the locker room that like a bunch of guys are probably on their way out. And then he has to go out and perform. And I'm sure he comes out, which he did. The first shift came out really strong. And then all of a sudden how the play kind of got bad. It kind of got slow and the energy kind of came out of the building. And you could tell Sid was just visually just not there, just because I'm sure everything is piling up. Like he said, it's a human emotion. And to the comments, I am not saying Sidney Crosby is getting traded. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he understands it's a business. He understands everyone in the locker room. There are some guys in that locker room that I'm sure he's really close to that he knows are probably out the door tomorrow. So it's hard, and I'm sure there's a lot of emotions running through all the players. And I wanted to ask you, emotionally, as a coach or something like that, you're in charge of this team. You know the team isn't producing well, and then all of a sudden, not only are their jobs in question, but now your job is kind of in question a little bit. How do you mentally go, you know what? Okay, hey, we got to just press on through. How do we go about doing that? How do you perform at the highest level when that is knocking on the doorstep there?
Well, I think the internal leadership, and Sidney Crosby is one of the greatest leaders I've ever met. So, Sully and the coaching staff would rely on that internal leadership in the dressing room to try and forge ahead, right? Because you can't look back. You can't sit and hang your head and feel sorry for yourself because nobody else is going to feel sorry for you. So you just got to treat it like a pro. Pat Verbeek told me a long time ago when he was my assistant coach on our Honey Baked 88 team with Pat Kane and those guys. And he said, Harks, you can only control what you control, what you can control. And it's a true statement. Like he always told me he never wanted to not work out enough or be in top physical condition to let someone take his job because that's something he could control. Excuse me. So I think that's how you got to approach it. You can only control what you can control. And then once decisions are made, you just got to, suck it up. That's the bottom line.
Well, I mean, it's a crazy world, right? We all understand that. I'm sorry. I just got thrown up by the comments because someone just entered in our chat by saying the Oilers are going to win the cup.
Excuse me.
Dude, get out of this comment section right now, dude. We're talking about the decline of the Penguins. Don't kick. What is it? Don't kick a
horse while he's down. Yeah.
I don't know why I was going to say lion. I don't know where that came from. Don't kick a horse while we're down.
And
get on out of here.
Also, Louis, you got to look at the glass half full, the glass half empty, right? And if the power play had a little more success throughout the course of the year, that's really what wins and loses you games are special teams, PK and PP. You talked about the struggles with that, and it's not like they don't have world-class players on the power play. Sometimes you get bounces, sometimes you don't. Like on Puljujärvi's goal today, he stayed in the zone. He went to the corner. If you run that clip, he totally whiffs on a check, but then he matriculates his way back to the front of the net after Graves keeps a puck in that was almost out of the blue line and shoves it all the way back down in front of the net. So puck ends up on a stick. Credit to him for burying the puck, but sometimes you get rewarded for not doing the right thing, and sometimes you do the right thing and don't get rewarded. Like, that's sports, that's life. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you nailed it with the lucky bounces, because I mean, even Raquel's goal, I mean, he's forechecking on that play, or backchecking, however you want to say.
Forechecking,
all right. So, and literally the defender's just trying to clear the zone, and it just bounces off of him and right into the net.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Aaron Portsline, who's a beat writer for The Athletic for the Blue Jackets during the game. He's a good buddy of mine, and he texted me. He goes, "Harks, not many times can you block a shot and score a goal on the same play."
Yeah, yeah. Honestly,
I mean, I tweeted out when that happened. I was like, "Okay, yeah, we scored," and I said, "What? How in the Penguins, like, this is going to turn out that he's out for the rest of the season with like a broken foot? Like, that's such a Penguins way to go out. Obviously, he's all right, but
yeah,
right.
Man,
dude. That's pure luck. Like the other day when McDavid shot that puck, and I used to coach against Connor when he was on the Marlies, and I had the '96 Cleveland Barons team, and he shot off Ned's pad to have that rebound come to Hyman, who buried it. I mean, that's orchestrated. Raquel's thing tonight, Branson just, I don't know why he turned and shot it that close to his goal, because same thing, bad things happen, right? Like try and go up the wall with it, or just send it out that lane instead of trying. But he must have felt there was pressure there, and Rax, good for him. He was he applied the pressure, took it off the toe, right in the net. So, like I said, they don't ask how, they just ask how many.
It's true.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
You're not wrong.
But I'm sure Rax will be like, well, that one hurt. I'll tell you that much. That one hurt.
Yeah.
I get it. I got a goal, but that goal hurt. But it's a crazy next couple of days for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Obviously, I know, Coach, that you can't really talk about it because obviously you are an uncle to one of the players on the Pittsburgh Penguins, who's currently out with an injury, but he most likely he'll be back next game. I know he was a game time decision today, but Jansen will probably be back in the lineup next game, which is when, Josh? When's the next game? Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy couple days. I know you can't answer who specifically, but have you ever seen the Penguins in a time like this where there is uncertainty about the future of the core of everyone? Have you ever seen this for the Penguins?
No, but I mean, look at the rebuild they're having in Chicago. They've had to been really bad. You guys, even though you're not really bad, like I said, you're a good power play away from, being right in the thick of it for sure right now. And it's a different situation. So they're probably, they'll deal with it. I mean, it is what it is. But they're still fighting. They got 2 points tonight. Hopefully Thursday they come out. They need a little bit of help. You start praying to the hockey gods, and you take care of what you can take care of. Remember, we just talked about this. You got to control what you can control, and you can't control the other things. But hopefully, you get a little luck and some bounces all the step of the way with the teams you're trying to chase, and things could turn out differently. So,
yeah, I'm honestly, I said the same thing last episode, Coach. I don't know if you listened, but I said, if we do a rebuild, it's going to be like Chicago. We may not be as bad as Chicago to get the first overall pick in order to get a generational player like Bedard. But, we had guys, at the tail end of their career, Taves and Kane. Well, I shouldn't say Kane at the end of their career, but we had the high profile players, Kane and Taves, Crosby and Gino. And, they had to do something. Hopefully, Penguins are a little bit different. We keep them and we do a soft rebuild. But
yeah, I mean, very, very similar teams when you look at that. Pittsburgh won 2 cups then, Chicago won 3. But Chicago had an aging core too. Seabrook, Duncan Keith, Corey Crawford, Kaner and Taves. Obviously, Kaner's still doing it, still lighting it up,
man.
which is insane the year he's having. You can't fight Father Time. You lose a step or you lose this or you lose that. But I still think, there's still an opportunity and a chance. And stranger things have happened. This is sports, okay? Like crazier things happen all the time in sports.
Yeah, because that was going to be my question. I know we're going to have this all season, but do you think that this can? I know we've been saying it every time they win after a losing streak, but can this be now a winning streak in order for them to kind of make a playoff push?
We'll put it on you right
coach,
now.
I always say, coach speak stuff, guys. You got to win 1 before you can win 2, and after you win 2, then you can win 3, right? So yeah, I don't think those guys in that dressing room believe that they're out of it. They just got to find a way, right? You just got to find a way, and it's one game, one period at a time, one shift at a time. The scoreboard takes care of itself. If you're playing the right way, and you get bounces. If you play the right way, you get opportunities in the power play. You get calls your way. Good things happen. You know what I mean? So that's what you're trying to strive for. Every game.
So you heard it here first on this podcast. Coach Donnie's saying the Penguins are winning the cup. That's what he's saying. He's saying it's over. Watch out, everyone. The Penguins are going on a winning streak, get into the playoffs, and by, what is it, June?
What do you say? What do you say there, Louie and Josh? What do you say? Why not us? Why not us? As a coach, you got to tell your team, why not us? Like, you got to believe.
Yeah. Now, when you look at the math, okay, last question, I promise. When you look at
out, but yeah.
When you look at the math, though, and you go, as a coach, right? You're looking at the math, and you're like, we need to win out. How do you go? Yeah, we're not doing that. Your team in your own circle of the coaching staff, right? You have to go. There's no way we're gonna make the playoffs this year.
As a coach, you can't fold your cards. We're not playing Texas Hold'em here. You got to keep playing until you are mathematically eliminated. So
I would not make it as a coach. I would be like, we stink. I'm out. I would be on the phone with the GM. I'd be like, Kyle, trade away everyone. I want everyone gone. I want a whole new team. So I get it. I could not be a coach, but yeah, I guess you have to have that drive and that belief that you could still do it when the odds are stacked against you. That is for sure. But I know I could not make it as a head coach because I would be halfway through this season. I'd be
yeah. If you were the coach when New England came back and beat the Falcons in that Super Bowl, I was in Vegas at the time. They were down 20-some points right at halftime. Louie, you just would have went and got on the bus.
I would have came out at halftime.
And Edmonton,
I would have left.
Again, Sunday. I wouldn't have come out for the third period. I've been like, I'll be at the hotel waiting for you guys.
Oh yeah. When it was 5-0 going into the third?
I've done that before, Louie. I made my players. I was so mad at them one time when I was coaching the U18. We were playing Pittsburgh, and I set up the whole thing with the Youngstown Phantoms. So we got scouted by the USHL. We were playing the amateur Pens, and my team scored 2 goals the whole weekend. My forwards did. We lost both games, 4-1, 3-1, something like that. And I went in the locker room and I said, forwards or defense and goalies get undressed. Forwards, just take off your skates and get on the bus with your full gear, helmets and everything.
And nice.
I was mad at them for that. The dads of the team thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. A little bit of humble pie for their kids. I said, listen, you guys humiliated me for 6 periods of hockey. Now I'm going to humiliate you on the bus ride home. That's fair, right? An eye for an eye, for tooth, guys, right? So when we stopped at the rest area on the Ohio Turnpike heading home, they all had to go in there and order their food with their full equipment on, and they got a lot of laughs out of it. But those are things that happened to me when I was a player for my coaches, and kids will still talk about that today. They laugh about that. Those are memories you create, when you're with the guys. But sometimes you do get mad as a coach, Louie, and
I'm
trying
surprised.
To send a message.
I'm surprised you didn't pull a Herb Brooks and after the game go, get on the blue line. That one. And just make sure we call those bag skates.
We told those bag skates, and we've done those plenty of times.
I'm surprised if it was me, Penguins would still be on that ice right now. The whole team.
These are paid professionals. I can get away with that stuff in youth hockey. But yeah, back then, those were all amateurs.
Yeah.
Like Herb Brooks had all amateurs, but he had to get those guys to believe that they could win one game. And they had to be so resilient and such in shape because talent alone was not going to, there's no way. I mean, will beat skill if skill doesn't work hard. Okay. But those Russians were a machine then too. Then
That's right.
the Tikhonov panicked, pulled Tretiak, put in the other goal, McCushkin. I mean, everything just fell into place. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You think you can win on? You think you can win on talent alone, gentlemen? You don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
No.
Love that quote.
Yeah.
I love it.
My dad always told me if you want to be a good coach, get off the bus with the best players. And I said, Dad, there's a lot of truth to that. My father played football at Ohio State for Woody Hayes and baseball there, so he played pretty high-level athletics. And I said, Dad, you got to get off the bus with the really good players, but you need to get off the bus with the right players. Okay, the right players. The right players for that coach, for that team, for each other. You got to get off of them. And that's what Herb Brooks had with that team that won the Miracle on Ice. He had the right players, okay? In that moment, they were right for that game. And don't forget, after that big emotional win, they still had to go beat Finland to win the gold medal.
Yeah,
they could have laid an egg, and all that great beating almighty Russia was right out the window. You know what I mean? So you got to bounce back after an emotional drain and all that stuff. So that's that resiliency that Herb built and instilled in his team. And I'm sure those guys carried that on, that same mentality.
And he brought that to Pittsburgh. Right.
Yeah.
Herb Brooks did coach the Pittsburgh Penguins. But, all right. This is awesome. I want to say thank you for joining us doing this all the time. We're going to do an ad read. You're still going to be here. We're going to do an ad read. Then we're just going to close out the episode and call it a night. So I just want to say before we do that, thank you. This has been awesome. This went way better than I thought it would. My goodness, I cannot wait for next Tuesday. And guys, make sure you are following along because we're going to have more content with Coach Donnie for the rest of the season. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Twitch, and our Twitter. It's all at Pens Collective. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. Hit the notification icon so that way you guys can know when we go live with Coach Uncle Donnie. All right? So when we go live, you guys want to stay tuned. All right.
And Louie, one more thing before I go. I do this because of your and Josh's passion and the fans of Pittsburgh sports passion for their sports teams. Because Cleveland is very much, I know you hate to make those comparisons, but blue collar, passionate. That's why I do it, because passion in sports goes together hand in hand. That's all I got.
That it does. Cleveland sucks. Josh went the high road there. I went immediately for the Cleveland sucks.
That's okay. You can chirp me. I'm good. I got thick skin.
There you go. Yeah. Well, with that being said, Cleveland sucks. Thanks so much for joining. Stick after, Donnie. But we're going to do an ad read and then we'll close out. But stick after, all right? Thanks so much for joining us, okay?
Yep. Thank you.
All right, guys. That was Coach Donnie's breakdown, the first ever segment, like a legit segment on the show. Yeah. Josh, that was awesome. That was
fun. That was fun.
That was
smooth with the you were smooth with the video. That was good.
I knew he was going to break it down because Josh has called Coach Donnie's breakdown, and I wanted to do the playback speed a little slow because I knew he's going to be like, stop right there. We got our own Jay's Illustration, ladies and gentlemen. It's Coach Donnie's breakdown.
Jay's Illustration.
Look.
All
what ad are we doing?
Yeah, we got to go shop Yins, Josh, of course. We were just talking about how passion in sports come together, and there's no other place. Screw Cleveland. Pittsburgh has passion in sports, all right? And we have the best place to show that passion, to wear that pride, and that's shopyins.com. That's shopyins2z's.com. You get awesome apparel, any sport. Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Pirates and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and your favorite podcast has its own merch on that website. You can get our logo right up there, and you can get a couple other things like our sign off. As always, let's go Pens. And we got stickers, mugs. We got hats now, ladies and gentlemen. We got hats. All right? Passion. Hats. All right? So you guys want to get
excited
your
for the hats.
If you guys want to get your own hat, if you guys want to show off the TPC pride, make sure you go to shopyins.com. Once again, shopyins2z's.com. Enter code TPC15 for 15% off your first order. That was a great ad read.
That was good. Crushed it.
Off the dome. Off the dome. Could you tell?
You don't tell them. You don't say it. You don't say
Yeah,
that.
that's the secret behind the trade, Josh. You don't tell them.
Yeah.
You don't show your hand. You just say, I'm that good. I'm
That's right.
him, as the kids say. You know? I'm him. All right, let's wrap this up. With Coach Donnie on the podcast, he makes it a better podcast. We make it worse. So let's wrap it up. Guys, thank you so much for joining this episode. It was an awesome one. It was a monumental episode for TPC. I appreciate you guys joining, going into the chat, just making this awesome.
Dog and Louie. Saw a whole bunch of comments. Dog and Louie. Love it.
I know.
Love it.
I know. This is the first time. Man, Twitter's ruthless, dude. Ruthless. They're like, maybe this guy will shut up about talking about Malkin. Whoa. Hey. I said this guy. Hey, Malkin, play better. Prove me wrong. All right? Anyway. Josh, don't get me on a rant right now. Coach, let's not ruin this episode.
And I'll just say, stay glued to our Twitter account tomorrow. We'll keep you posted.
Are we going to go live? Are we going to go live if there's an emergency trade?
We'll talk post. We'll talk post.
All right. I was just trying to hype it up, but Josh, thanks for ruining the momentum. Let's end this podcast. Guys, thank you so much for joining this episode. Seriously, once again, it is awesome that you guys join us on Twitter, on Twitch, and on YouTube, all at Pens Collective. You guys want to stay in the chat. You love this kind of family vibe. You love this kind of atmosphere that we set here. We have a Discord. It's Discord/the Penguins Collective. And we have a bunch of people on there that chat throughout the week about sports and about life. It's awesome. It's our own little community, and we are inviting you. So make sure you go to Discord/the Penguins Collective. Thank you guys so much for listening. The audio version. You guys are awesome. You're faithful and true, and we love you. And thank you for listening on all your favorite podcast platforms. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's got us this far. I'm feeling a little grateful tonight, Josh, and that's okay.
Nice.
Feeling a little grateful, you know?
Appreciate it. Yeah. We appreciate everyone.
Appreciate everyone. Appreciate Coach Donnie.
Yeah, that was cool.
Uncle Donnie.
I'm already excited for next week.
I know. I can't wait, especially if we have like a whole new team. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday when we face the
Flyers? Capitals.
Josh, hey,
Capitals.
when I point to you,
Capitals.
I point to you, that's
Washington
when
Capitals.
You answer. Okay.
Washington Capitals.
On Thursday, we're playing the
Washington Capitals.
Awesome. 7:00 start. Make sure you're there. We'll be going live right after, of course. Guys, we'll see you in the next one. And as always,
let's go Pens.